What if I told you a man became insanely rich on Wall Street, not by predicting the market, but by mastering human psychology? He made millions before turning 30, built an empire from nothing, lost everything to the FBI, and somehow became famous again after prison. This is the true story of Jordan Belfort, the man the world knows as the Wolf of Wall Street. Jordan Belfort didn't grow up wealthy. He was raised in Queens, New York, in a middle-class family of accountants. But even as a teenager, he was obsessed with money. At just 16 years old, he made $20,000 selling Italian ice during one summer. That moment changed everything. Jordan realized something powerful early on. Success wasn't about being the smartest person in the room. It was about convincing people. After briefly attending dental school and failing in a small seafood business, he discovered his real talent: sales. And that talent would soon take him to Wall Street. In the late 1980s, Jordan got a job as a stockbroker trainee. He learned fast. The job wasn't really about stocks, it was about confidence. But then disaster struck. The stock market crashed during Black Monday, and Jordan lost his job almost immediately. For most people, that would have been the end. For Jordan, it was the beginning. He discovered penny stocks, cheap shares of small companies that paid brokers massive commissions. Low risk for brokers, huge risk for investors, and almost no regulation. Together with his partner Danny Porush, Jordan founded a brokerage firm called Stratton Oakmont. It sounded prestigious. In reality, it operated like a high-pressure sales room. Jordan hired young, ambitious people with little financial experience and trained them using his own persuasion system. The goal wasn't to educate clients. The goal was to close the sale. Phones rang non-stop. Scripts were memorized. Confidence was everything. And money started pouring in. Here's where things turned dark. Stratton Oakmont secretly bought large amounts of cheap stocks. Then brokers aggressively promoted those stocks to everyday investors, promising huge returns. As demand increased, prices went up. But while investors were buying, Jordan and his insiders were quietly selling their own shares for massive profits. Once they sold, the stock price collapsed. Investors were left holding worthless stock. This strategy became known as a pump and dump scheme. Thousands of people lost their savings, and Jordan Belfort became incredibly rich. By the early 1990s, Jordan was living a life few could imagine. Luxury mansions, private helicopters, wild office parties. Success turned into excess. But rapid wealth brought attention, and attention brought scrutiny. Complaints from investors began piling up, and the FBI started watching. Agent Gregory Coleman led a quiet investigation, tracking money transfers and gathering evidence for years. Jordan's empire looked unstoppable, but underneath it was already collapsing. In 1996, federal agents shut down Stratton Oakmont. Facing decades in prison, Jordan cooperated with authorities and testified against former colleagues. He ultimately served 22 months in prison. While incarcerated, he was encouraged to write his life story. That memoir became The Wolf of Wall Street, later adapted into the hit film The Wolf of Wall Street. Today, Jordan Belfort works as a motivational speaker and sales trainer, still teaching persuasion, but legally this time. So, was Jordan Belfort a genius or a warning? His story reveals a powerful truth. Markets don't just run on numbers, they run on emotion. And sometimes the biggest risk in finance isn't the stock, it's human psychology.